Can you tell your child not to talk to my son? I saw her talking to my son when I went to school to pick him up. Lower class people should only talk to lower class people, understood? I don't want my son to be staying in touch with someone from a poor family. Excuse me? What do you mean? Is it a bad thing for children to talk to each other? Isn't that their choice? Moreover, what the hell do you mean lower class? Of course it's bad. Why did your daughter talk to my son in the first place? You people do not deserve my son. Mrs. Johnson, why all of a sudden? Did we do something wrong? And what do you mean that we're poor? I believe we're living a standard level life. I heard you're a single mother. It's obvious you're poor. Where did your husband go? What? I think that is too much prejudice. You shouldn't say things like that. Just because I'm a single mother doesn't mean that we're living low standard life, does it? Even if someone was poor due to any reason, that shouldn't be something to be made fun of. You'll never know what it's like living a better life. Thanks to my husband, we're living a wonderful life. It's such a pity the way you work all day, and you still don't make enough to eat enough. Don't tell me your main meal is always oatmeal. We do eat oatmeal because it's healthy. Is there a problem? But it's not like that's the only thing we eat, obviously. I knew it. You look like someone who can only afford oatmeal. Just so you know, we had dinner at a French restaurant last night. I guess we're living on a way too different level. I see. Good for you. Well, there's no wonder why. My husband's the CEO of a company. Did you know? That's how different our positions are. Or do you want me to ask him to hire you? Only if he'd accept a poor person, though. Thank you for your kindness. But if I may make a point, I believe it's the children's choice to choose who they become friends with. So I kindly ask you to not interfere with their friendship. Hello, did you hear anything I said? As a parent, you should understand this. Why would anyone want their child's life to be ruined by some poor family? After all the time spent raising them? First of all, you should rethink about considering all single mothers as poor. It's rude and inappropriate. Second of all, this whole attitude of being better than someone else based on income, it's ridiculous. Wait, are you trying to make your daughter a gold digger? Excuse me? I know you're trying to get close to my son using your daughter. But too bad. That's not happening. Give up. A daughter of a single mother won't even stand a chance. What are you talking about? They're still 6. Why would she even come up with such a thought? Let alone me. Oh yeah? You never know. It seems tough to raise a child as a single parent. Plus, you wouldn't want your child to experience the same thing, would you? Of course not. I'm doing my best to raise her properly without a father. But to become a gold digger is not what I'm willing to educate my daughter about. Yeah, of course you'll say it like that. I guess I'll need to educate my son more. To not go near poor people. What are you thinking? I'm just a single parent, and that has nothing to do with the children. I don't mind what you say about me, but if you make my daughter feel bad, you'll pay for this. Sure, go ahead. Are you done? I need to get going, so I appreciate it if you can wrap it up. Oh yeah, I forgot you're a single parent. No wonder you're so busy. I can stay home all day and do the laundry and sew. That sounds nice. Please keep it up. I bet you've never worked a day in your life. Shut it. So, did you get my message? Don't you dare think of letting your daughter come near my son. There will be consequences if you do. Please don't teach your child that. It's utterly ridiculous. Now, goodbye. Mr. Johnson, may I have a word with you, please? It's about your wife.
Good afternoon, Miss Taylor. Did something happen?
Yes. Your wife was looking down on me just because I'm a single parent.
Pardon?
It seems that she doesn't like the fact that our children are talking to each other. She saw them talking to each other at school, and she was ridiculing me for everything.
Jesus. I'm so sorry about whatever she has told you. I don't know exactly why, but her values are sometimes really prejudiced.
Okay. I'm a patient person, so I handle whatever she says to me. But I cannot be tolerant when it comes to involving my daughter. Can you tell your wife about this from your side?
No problem. I'll try my best. However, since I have hardly ever interfered with my wife about our son's education, I may struggle a little when convincing her. Is it okay that I ask for a little time to figure it out?
Sure, but don't take your sweet time, please. This is about my daughter, not me, so things will need to move ASAP. If I feel it necessary, I'll just talk to her directly.
Oh, I will do my best. I can't imagine how she will react if I tell her how much I owe you. Since she likes to look down on people, I'm afraid our family would break apart when she finds out.
As I said, I as well like to keep my tolerance as long as possible. But I need to take action before things get too late. It was really unexpected to hear criticism that bad from your wife. So please understand that I have limits.
Yes, I understand. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I didn't know how bad the situation was at this point. I'll do whatever it takes to convince her.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that this is also for educating your son the correct things.
Yes, I completely agree. Once again, I am really sorry.
It's okay. Just please make it quick. Mrs. Johnson, you need to explain. I just had a phone call from school. The office told me that your son spilled my daughter's lunch and made fun of her. Hi, Miss Taylor. I received a call as well. What are you so angry about? It's your fault. Didn't I tell you not to let your daughter come near my son? Your daughter just got what she deserved because her single parent won't educate her. You thought I would take that seriously? Are you insane? They're just kids. Exactly, they're kids. That's why it's important to educate them with the right knowledge. What did you tell your son? Did you tell him to bully my daughter? Of course not. I just taught him that your family is poor and he shouldn't be friends with the Taylors. It was just a slight warning about how dangerous it is being friends with poor people. Are you serious? What do you mean dangerous? I told you before. Since you feed your daughter cheap oatmeal and live a miserable life together, I told my son that being friends with such people will only make him miserable. You brat. She was crying. She came to me crying, saying she was treated like a disease or something. Your son thinks poverty is some sort of disease, and that's terrible. Maybe he's right in a way. Excuse me? I mean, what's the deal? It was your daughter's lunch. I'm sure all of it wasn't worth anything. You can't afford anything good, can you? That's not the point. I feel you. It must be hard making ends meet. If you beg me to help, I can offer you some food, though. Well, your husband's here. He's begging me to forgive you for what you did. Huh? He said he told you not to look down on people. Mr. Johnson even told me right now he'll divorce you. What do you say? Wait, what? I don't understand. He never told you, but I run a business. And your husband's company happens to be one of the companies we fund. I gave you the chance, but I guess you didn't need it. I'm ending the fund. Stop joking. I know you're trying to play with me. You thought you can trick me like that? Too bad. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Why don't you go home? Your husband will be waiting for you. I've never seen him so disappointed. How? I don't believe you. How can you run a business? I thought you were just a single parent. Are you dense? Just because I'm a single parent doesn't mean I can't run a business. I'm doing whatever work I need to raise my daughter. I got divorced because my husband wouldn't work or take care of my daughter. Instead, he used my money to gamble and drink. Are you serious? You're lying, right? I'm telling you the truth. And that is why I'm canceling the contract I signed with your husband's company. Wait, even if that was true, why did nobody tell me? Your husband told me not to. Mostly because you tend to look down on people. And if you found out about this, Mr. Johnson thought you'll force him to do whatever it takes to bring me down. Well, maybe I would have said such thing. But it's not nice to keep it a secret. Would I care? Nothing's gonna change for me, whether you knew the truth or not. But it's true that this all happened because we kept it a secret. See? It's all your fault. I would have changed my mind if I knew you were the business partner of my husband's company. Either way, I wouldn't like to have my daughter be friends with a family that changes attitude that way. Plus, your husband is planning to take his son with him after you two separate. Just so you know. What? What divorce? That can't happen. I wouldn't have a place to live. So? Didn't your husband warn you? That you shouldn't educate to choose friends by judging their backgrounds? And that you shouldn't barge into other families' business? Well, yeah. But I didn't know he was talking about this. Too bad. I hope you learned. So, any plans after divorce? I guess you'll be jobless, right? Wait, please. Please convince my husband. He should reconsider this. Besides, I'm not the one who bullied your daughter. It's not my fault. Well, who taught him those things? If you didn't interfere, this wouldn't have happened. You should apologize to the children first, not me. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry about what happened to your daughter. This won't happen again. So please convince my husband about this. Yeah, you thought I'd forgive you? Too late. How is looking down on people? It's a surprise you're a parent of a child. Enjoy the lower life standard you were wishing for. After Mrs. Johnson came home in a hurry, her husband was waiting at the door with a furious face. Without standing a chance, Mrs. Johnson agreed on the divorce and got kicked out of the house. Although Kieran went back to her parents' house to ask for help. Her parents did not let her in because Mr. Johnson explained everything. Without any support, she started a job and is working all day long. I hope she learned a valuable lesson. That she is no better than a regular person without help.
Hello, Miss Mona Martin?
Yes?
Hello, this is Gideon Spitzer with the Stone Rock Herald. How are you today?
Oh, very well. How are you, Mr. Spitzer? And please call me Mona.
Great, Mona. Well, I wanted to thank you for carving out some time for me today. I understand how busy you must be opening up your own small business.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. I'm just grateful that you want to do a story on us. I just want as many people to know about it as possible.
Well, it's very exciting finally having an independent bookstore in our little town. I know it's something my family and friends have been wanting for a long time.
I'm just happy we're finally opening soon.
Although, I do hear there's a little matter you need to take care of first, before the opening day.
Oh, yes, a very important matter, actually.
Yes, I heard you have not yet given the store a name.
Yes, it's ridiculous, but true. But I'll have one by the end of the week. That's our deadline. So until then, you'll just have to have a placeholder.
Oh, that's no
placeholder.
Oh, that's no problem for sure. I know how you creatives can be.
Well, you don't consider yourself a creative, even as a journalist?
I suppose in some ways, but if I get too creative, I can get into trouble.
Yeah, I understand that.
So are you from Stone Rock?
Yep, born and bred, all 40 years.
And what made you interested in wanting to start a bookstore? Were you always a reader?
Definitely. I was an English major, but struggled to find my place after I graduated. I started working as a barista at a Barnes & Noble while I was working on a failed novel and just hated it.
And why was that?
Well, just all the corporate BS, you know, and they even wanted to promote me.
Right, of course. Some people aren't made for that.
Especially the kind of people who are attracted to working at bookstores, so I ended up taking some business classes, saved some money, begged for some more. And here we are, just a few months away from it finally opening.
And that Barnes & Noble that you worked for has recently announced that it's closing its doors, isn't that right?
Steakhouse, isn't that hilarious?
Well, time marches on, huh?
I suppose so, yes.
So what's going to make your store stand apart from all that corporate BS, as you say?
Well, for one, no bland espresso.
Well, then I'm already a fan.
And we'll be carrying the kinds of books that those stores don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can get these types of specialty books online, but there's nothing like browsing in a real bookstore.
So, what kinds of books, for instance?
Well, as you know, I consider myself part of the LGBTQ community, so there's a large representation of those books. And we also have a vast collection of pagan and occult books.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and New Age, supernatural, paranormal, anything like that, we just love.
That's very interesting. Do you think there's a market for that sort of thing in this little conservative town of ours?
Oh, absolutely. Sure, we have plenty of those types, but they're just the loudest voices, you know what I mean?
Sure. So you don't foresee any problems having that type of material at your store?
Well, no, I don't think so. We have a fairly open-minded society at this point, right? At least, it's not the 1980s anymore.
Are you referring to the Satanic Panic?
Yep, bingo. Just a bunch of kids and artists being persecuted for trying to express themselves.
Well, it's true that our little town is changing, with such an influx of new communities, new businesses, new restaurants. Do you feel like some people are resistant to that type of change?
Well, I think some people are, yeah. I think everyone can be in some ways. Change is never easy.
The old people especially, right? I mean, the older generations.
Well, no, I've met all sorts of cool old people. And everyone's entitled to their own opinions, of course, as long as they respect others while expressing it, right?
Well, that does seem to be the goal. Not that we always do in today's world, right? It's such a toxic online culture and all.
Yeah, it's really rough, but I'm hoping to foster a positive environment with our store. With events for the community like poetry readings and group events, I really want to give back.
Well, this all sounds wonderful, Mona. Thank you so much. I'll be contacting you with some follow-ups, of course.
Of course.
And hopefully you'll have a name by the time you open so we can publish the darn thing, right?
Well, I'm certainly hoping so, Gideon. In fact, I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. Hi, Mr. Spitzer. This is Mona Martin from the bookstore.
Oh, hello, Mona. How are you? How's the store coming along? Are you any closer to a name?
I'm okay. And yeah, I'm getting closer by the day on that name, I guess, but I'm actually contacting you about something else that I was hoping you could help me with.
Oh, well, I will if I can. What seems to be the problem?
Well, I was wondering if you knew anything about the Grannies for Decency project.
Yes, I am vaguely familiar with them. They're the group that tries to keep all things evil or dirty out of the hands of pretty much everybody.
Yep, that's them. Well, I guess they have a newsletter or something, and apparently it has a pretty wide reach.
Okay.
Well, some woman named Edith Pinkton wrote an article about my store opening in it.
Did you say Edith Pinkton?
Why? Do you know who she is?
Oh, yes. Miss Pinkton has caused a great deal of trouble lately with the school libraries. What's her problem with you now?
Well, here's a quote from the article that just about sums up her position. Miss Martin's new store will sell guides to witchcraft and devil worship and products which support the wicked gay lifestyle.
Oh, well, that is very interesting. Unfortunate, but interesting.
So is that true? A lot of people read this thing?
Well, not only that, some of her columns have been picked up by larger regional online magazines. Those of the same persuasion, I mean.
Well, do they have any power? I mean, could this cause any problems for me, do you think, with the opening?
Well, that would...
And what would it depend on?
Oh, how many protests she has descended upon your store.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, that group is very much into the picketing. Very loud, too, with the megaphones and such.
Megaphones? Loud?
Oh yes, and the signs, too.
Signs, too, huh?
Great big ones, yeah, with all sorts of interesting slogans and such. They really are quite creative, some of them.
Oh, great.
But you know how these types of people are. They make a lot of noise, but once they get it out of their system, things tend to settle down. Well, usually.
Well, what do you think I should do?
What do you mean?
Should I write some type of a response to them or something?
Oh, well, no, I don't think that's quite necessary yet. We don't even know if their little newsletter's getting any traction yet.
I think maybe we do now, Gideon.
We do? What do you mean?
There's an article up on WTKL. It just put... The Grannies for Decency Project is organizing a protest for tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, that's not good.
They're planning on picketing outside the site of my store from noon to 5? Seriously?
Oh, yes, well, it is a very serious group.
So what am I supposed to do?
Well, I wish I had some advice for you, but I'm afraid of Edith Pinkton.
You're afraid of this woman?
Well, yes, she's very scary.
Can't I just, talk to her or something? Maybe try to explain to her what we're all about?
What do you mean? You want to explain something to Edith?
Yeah, I mean, just tell her that we aren't some bookstore run by witches or something. I'm just a normal woman from the community trying to start a business.
Well, I suppose you could try, but it's your funeral if it goes badly for you.
Okay, my funeral?
Oh yes, she's quite crazy, truly. If you cross her, she'll quite crazy, truly. If you cross her, she'll loose the hounds of hell on you.
Like who? What hounds?
Church groups, parent groups, politicians.
Politicians?
Who knows? These people can be quite ruthless when they really want something.
Well, what do they want?
Well, they probably don't want you to open your evil little store.
My evil little store?
Well, I'm not saying it's evil, they're saying it's evil. I mean, I don't even really read books.
Okay, well, how about you just give Miss Pinkton my number and you tell her to text me, alright?
Oh, really? You want me to have her contact you?
You probably have her number, right?
I probably have it somewhere around here, yeah.
Okay, so just have her text me and the two of us can work it out, okay?
Okay, well, I just hope you understand what you're doing.
Hello, is this Mona Marn, the owner of, well, some no-name bar? Yes, and this is Edith Pinkton, I presume? And it's not a no-name bookstore, it just doesn't have a name yet. Oh, well, hopefully, if the Grannies for Decency project has anything to do with it, it will never have a name at all. So what exactly is this about, Edith? Oh, can I call you Edith? No, you may not call me by my Christian name, and you may not call me anything else either. I refuse to be associated with heathen merchants such as yourself. Except for harassing them outside of their businesses, writing articles about them, ruining them before they ever even get started, that sort of thing? Well, yes, something like that. So what are your objections to my store? We could just talk about them, have a civil adult discussion. Wouldn't that be a nice thing to do? It certainly isn't tried very often these days. And what exactly would we be talking about, Miss Martin? How you are trying to degrade our culture, corrupt our children? What? No, not at all. Come on, I know your type, so independent. Independent? You think that's a bad thing? Well, it is when you're so brazen about it. So you're just saying that you have a problem with self-expression, actually. Well, of course I don't. Self-expression is a beautiful thing, but, within limits. Oh, and how so? Well, I feel like people should be allowed to express themselves in any way they wish, as long as it doesn't offend me or any of my friends. You are out of your mind, Edith. My business plan involves charity work, helping the community. All sorts of things that I would think you would approve of, maybe even want to help with. But I guess I shouldn't expect that now. Oh, please, I don't think our, lifestyles would be prone to supporting the same charities. Ah, yes, lifestyles. Yes, my lifestyle of good, clean, patriotic living and your lifestyle of debased, debauched artistry. Haven't you ever heard of Live and Let Live, Edith? I prefer the other one. What do you mean, the other one? The song, you know what I'm talking about. You mean Live and Let Die by Paul McCartney and the Wings? Wings. Only the band the Beatles could have been. I guess I just can't imagine living my life judging other people constantly like you. Isn't it exhausting? No, actually, you end up getting used to it. It ends up helping to feed your rage. It keeps you going. Oh, well, that sounds like quite a life. Sorry, but that's not for me. Oh, of course. I forgot. You're one of those free spirits hippie types. A reader. Yeah, that's right. I'm a reader, and I believe in reading books instead of banning them. Well, I believe in raising our children in a society that still values family, values. Yeah, but there's only one problem there. Whose family are we talking about, mine or yours? What? What in the heck does that even... What in the heck does that even mean? I mean, people have different kinds of families, Edith. Your family doesn't just have to be your mom, dad, brother, and sisters. Well, of course it does. That's the definition of a family. A family is whoever loves and supports you. Oh, I see. You subscribe to one of those new ways of thinking, huh? Like in one of those little pagan books you sell? They're just religious and philosophical texts like any other. We have plenty of Christian books, too. We just have a lot of the pagan stuff because other bookstores don't carry them. And there's a reason that they don't carry them, because they know that we will be knocking on their doors mad as hornets. They know that we are the ones with the real power. The real power is in books. The real power is in the author's words, not in suppressing them, making noise, whining, and screaming about your values. When all you're really doing is putting people out of business and censoring knowledge of anything that your vision. We have a righteous mission here at Granny's for Decency Project, and our vision is crystal clear, young lady. It is to scrub the streets clean of filth like you who are infecting our children with wickedness and evil. You're the one trying to sell our community devilishness. Like a magnet with a Ouija board on it, a biography on Aleister Crowley, so what? All of this stuff is available on Amazon. Why aren't you outside their warehouses protesting? Well, now, why would we do that? We all use Amazon. We need it for our organization. Oh, I see. So a little independent bookstore is bad, but the massive evil corporation is good? Even though we're doing the same thing, basically. Well, you are infecting our community personally, you see. I'm infecting my community, huh? That's right, infecting it with sin and evil and corruption. They're books, Edith. They're ideas. Ideas are what help continue civilization. Well, maybe it shouldn't. What do you mean, shouldn't continue? Well, I mean, maybe it's time we all just shuffle off this mortal coil and call it a day, huh? Wow, are you serious? That is a very dark worldview you have there. No, it's the appropriate worldview to have in this psychotic world we find ourselves trapped in. Yeah, well, some of that may be true, but I refuse to slip into the darkness, Edith. I will continue to read, and I will look forward to opening my store, whatever it may be called, and selling whatever books I want. The devil's books will burn with those who sell them. Well, that's interesting. I've never heard that one before.
Hello, Mona.
Oh, hi, Mr. Spitzer. How's it going?
So I heard you got in touch with Edith Pinkton, yes?
Oh yes, we spoke. We certainly did speak.
Yes, well, she told me all about it, actually, and quite forcefully. Well, she wants me to publish a different type of article about you. One where you're a bully.
Me? A bully?
That's right. She claims that you attempted to retaliate against her after her newsletter was circulated.
Oh, that is total nonsense. She's out of her mind.
Yes, well, that may be the case, and it is the case, actually, but still, I just wanted to tell you that even though she asked, I won't be doing it.
Well, I would really appreciate that, Gideon.
Frankly, all of us at the newsroom are getting a little sick and tired of Edith.
She bothers you all there, too?
Oh yeah, all the time, going back years, letters to the editors, picketing, all sorts of stuff.
Well, what do they want? What's their big complaint with you? All you are is a local newspaper. And not a very good one at that.
Hey, the markets have changed. The business isn't what it used to be.
I know, believe me.
Well, what I'm saying is, we're all finally prepared here at the paper to turn against Edith once and for all.
Oh, really?
So I've decided, and Edith once and for all.
Oh, really?
So I've decided, and my editors have agreed, that I'd like to do a story about this little battle you've got going on with Edith and the Grannies for Decency project.
But I don't have a battle against them. I just want to open my store.
Yeah, but don't you see what a great story that is that we could sell? I mean, tell?
What do you mean?
You know, the battles of art against censorship. We could make this into a huge story, a national story. Hey, maybe I could get a Nobel, who knows?
You know what? I don't think so, Gideon.
What? What do you mean? Why not?
I think I'm done with reporters for right now, okay? I think I just want to open my store and move on with my life. And never think about Edith Pinkton again.
Well, I have to write something about the place. Hey, did you ever think of a name yet?
Actually, yeah. A mutual acquaintance of ours gave me a great name. After a grand opening, the Devil's Books finally opened its doors on a clear during her short speech that she finally settled on the name after Edith Pinkton suggested it. The store was a resounding success. Edith got wind of the little line and attempted to put a lawsuit together, trying to get the rights to the name. The case was thrown out immediately, with prejudice. Gideon Spitzer reported on the entire event, but none of the stories were published because no one cared.